Both of them. They've got those cartridge things, and they can just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yep, it's in both of them. Both of them.
Okay, what about the Second Amendment? Our founding
I
fathers.
don't care one shit load about the. Pardon me.
No.
I'm done now.
You're okay. You're
I'm
okay.
done.
No,
I mean, I'm done.
keep it on. Okay.
Okay.
I'm Tanner.
I'm Suzanne.
This is Suzanne. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I live here because I have a daughter and a son-in-law and 2 grandsons that live in Stillwater, and I moved here to be close to them.
Yeah. What do they do?
Yeah. Well, my my son-in-law works for an oil and gas trucking company, and he's their data analyst guy.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he does all of that.
Yes.
All the volumes and all, he does all of that kind of stuff. So he's really busy. My daughter is a stay-at-home mom. She has a 5-year-old son and a 12-year-old son.
Oh, wow.
So.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, and so.
Yeah, he's really smart, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so anyway, so that's the family, and so I moved here to, well, I've been in Oklahoma, and they've moved around, and so I've kind of moved around with them, and so that I could be close to them.
So where are you originally from?
Arkansas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where at?
Fayetteville,
Okay.
right across the way, and Blair grew up there, and so.
I've been there a time or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice place.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're Arkansans,
Yes.
so, yeah, so,
Well, what do you want to talk about today?
it's up to you.
I
don't know Oklahoma that well.
Yeah.
I'm here because of the kids. I was in oil and gas myself. I'm an accountant, and so I did accounting work in the oil and gas industry, mainly in corporate accounting. So that's what I did, but I don't do it anymore. So I'm just retired now.
How long did you do that for?
30-something years.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah, for a long time. But I wasn't here in Oklahoma for that long. I did it in Arkansas, and I did it in Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then...
So you pretty much stayed down in this area?
Yes, I didn't... I mean, I was in Arkansas, and then moved to Texas, and then came here when...
The kids were here?
When the grandsons were born.
Oh, really?
I moved here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. I don't really get to talk to somebody from the other side that often.
Okay.
So politics?
We can go there.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how far we can go. I mean, but yes, we can go there.
I mean, I'm not...
I mean, I can talk with you until,
Okay.
we can.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know a lot about local politics.
Okay.
I just don't. I don't
Okay.
know.
I mean, that's fine. Honestly, I'm not an expert. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just some kid that works on a ranch and,
Right. Right, so I'm not really familiar with Oklahoma politics because it's not mine.
Let's talk about like our nation as a whole.
Okay, we can talk about that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And this is a little bit, it's a touchy subject
Okay.
elsewhere,
Okay.
but what is a woman? Do you know who Matt Walsh is?
Matt Walsh?
Yeah.
No, I don't know who Matt Walsh is.
Okay, he is a political commentator.
Mm-hmm.
They make movies and different stuff, and here a while back he made a movie about what is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And he just went around, to different people and just asked them, what is a woman?
Yeah.
So what do you say to that?
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of women, so there's moms and there's grandmothers and there's aunts and there's cousins. Females are women, but we have transgender women as well. So,
So do you think
Yeah.
a man can be a woman?
yes, if it is a transgender person, then yes. And I do believe I accept that,
So, like I said, I'm not an expert. So,
Okay. Okay. I believe that there are people that are born in the wrong body. I do believe that. And so,
Are you a Christian?
yes, I am.
Okay, so do you not believe that God made us in the image of Him?
Yes, I do, but I also believe that there are mistakes in biology, in genetics, and that happens.
Okay. There
Yeah.
is a different little section, intersex people. They're not born with XY or XX chromosome.
Right.
Okay. But that is like it's like
I
0.0.
understand about that too.
Very, very
And
low.
I understand that too, and we don't have a problem with those people. There doesn't seem to be any kind of legal problem with folks like that. But when it comes to transgender,
I wouldn't say that we have a problem with it either, with them either.
with
Okay.
transgender people,
Yeah.
well, it does when it comes to schools and,
I think, okay, this is a free country, and when you turn 18, you're free to live your life however you want to live your life.
no, not in the state of Oklahoma.
But you are, though. I mean, I know transgender people.
In the state of Oklahoma, your insurance will not pay for transition surgery in the state of Oklahoma. It's illegal.
Insurance is, okay, after you turn 18,
They have, yes.
I would have to check into that.
Well, that's something that they're working on in the.
But what kind of surgery do you mean? You say transgender surgery, but
Well, when you're trying to transition from a male to a female or a female to a male.
yeah, it's called vaginoplasty, and they cut your thing off.
Yeah, I don't know what the terms are for all of that, but those kinds of surgery are, and they're fine to be done, but the people, when you talk about the Senate and the House here in Oklahoma, they want all of that banned, period.
I think it's more so for children.
It's not just children.
I mean, I'll have to do some research.
Well,
into
you
it.
do
I wanted
your
to
research
have the
too,
laptop
because-
so we could pull some stuff up.
Right.
But I
you
couldn't
can't.
get internet.
And that's fine too.
Um,
But
Okay.
but that's my
Yeah.
stand on it.
Okay, but
My stand is that people are people. God made everybody, so there's no sin.
so if
There
somebody
is no sin.
So if somebody comes to a doctor and they say, "Hey, I am transabled," which is actually a thing, and they say, "I want my arm cut off because I feel like I don't have an arm," and they want their arm cut off, should we cut their arm off?
I don't know about that because that to me is possibly a phobia type thing that they need maybe to be seen for. I don't know.
Like something in their head.
Yes.
But wouldn't we agree that
No,
it would be like the same scenario?
no.
Okay. How about this? How about if we could agree as either a state or a nation or whatever that when you turn 18, you can do whatever you want. But before 18, doctor, no medications, that are out of practice,
Right.
or no surgeries, none of that until you're 18. And when you turn 18, you can do whatever you want. I mean, would that be finding common ground, like both
Well,
sides
you
kind of
know-
coming to the middle?
Let's look at it this way. If you have a child and your child is telling you when he is or she is at the age of 3, saying, I don't want to play with girl things, I want to play with boy things. And let me continue.
Yeah.
And later, like in the next year, says, I want to dress as a boy. I want to do things as a boy. I don't want anything that has to do with being a girl.
Yeah.
When she goes to school and she wants to dress as a boy, she wants to do things as a boy, and then she starts being bullied because she's not a girl, not acting as a girl, doesn't look like a girl, gets her hair cut like a boy, all of that. And she becomes bullied by her classmates and even by some adults.
Yeah.
Adults do it too. So then she starts having emotional issues because of it.
So at the very start.
Now we're talking young.
Yeah, okay, very
We're
young.
talking young. And she has told her folks, I don't belong in this body. This is just what she says.
But a
It's
3-year-old articulated all this?
Yes,
I mean, do you
Yes.
remember where you were when you were 3?
yes, I do. And
You
a
got
lot
a lot
of,
better memory
well,
than me.
well, maybe not, or maybe so. But children do remember. Not even at 3, maybe at 4, maybe at 5, maybe at 6.
Yeah.
And so when they start knowing these things, and as they progress,
But
You
just
know?
because the girl wants to play in the dirt with cars and stuff. I mean, I was a young boy once, and guess what? We used to play with my sister's dolls all the time, you know.
Right.
But we were still boys, you know.
right?
I mean, I think a kid can play with whatever they want. I mean, yes, we have norms, you know, boys play with
Norms.
cars,
Norms,
norm,
yes.
but I mean, every kid at some point in their life wants to play with different stuff. I mean,
Yes, and what I'm saying though is that norms for some children is not what the norm is for the majority of kids.
but it's not the majority though. It's only the U.S. population is 330,000, and
That's not correct, not 330,000.
331,000 and something.
People?
Yes.
No, million maybe, but not
Oh,
thousand.
did I say 1,000? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
331 million
yeah,
and some odd
Right,
number.
right.
Sorry, my fault.
right, no.
Okay, as of now, even though you have older people, you have, you know, middle-aged people,
Mhm.
you have all these people that
Mhm.
are identifying as transgender,
Mhm.
but it's still, all of that still only makes up 5% of the population.
Yeah.
So it's not the majority that feels that way.
No, I wouldn't think that either. I wouldn't think that they're a majority or
Yeah,
anything like that. I'm just saying that of the people that are transgender.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there are people that they will follow the norm because of pressure. They will.
But when a kid says, okay, and I used to use this when I was
Mhm.
younger,
Mhm.
and I know my mom and dad will see this,
Mhm.
I can't do it. You know, it's schoolwork or whatever it is. Well, I can't do it, but that's just what I say so that I don't have to do it.
Mhm.
Okay, so how does a little kid know what a boy and what a girl is? How can they feel like a girl when they don't even know what a girl is? They just know it's somebody else that's running around. I mean, they have to get it from somewhere. They're picking it up from somewhere. Now, we could have the conversation about technology and how everything is readily available for anyone and everyone. I talked to...
What do you mean by how do they know it's a girl as opposed to a boy?
Okay, if a little boy, you know, he has boy parts, he's a little
Yes.
boy,
Right.
but then he's say 3 years old, and he starts saying, "I'm a girl." Well, he doesn't even know what a boy or a girl is.
Well, he's looking at other children around him. He's seeing little girls
Yeah.
and he's seeing little boys.
Yeah.
And he's wanting to be with the little girls as opposed to, we're talking about a transgender child.
Yes.
And he's wanting to be with the little girls, not with the little boys, because he identifies with them, not with the little boys. It's not because he knows that they don't have a penis. He doesn't know that necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just that he knows that the way they act, what they're doing, you know, with their play or whatever, that's what draws him there. It's not the rough and tumble or the cars or whatever. I mean, it's whatever.
So maybe
You know, he's
he's
it's
just a
in play.
little less masculine, and maybe he's just a feminine man. I
And
mean,
he can be.
and
That
he
can-
could
yes.
be, but if we tell him, when he starts saying, "I'm a little girl," and you say, "Yes, you are," or "Okay, that's what I'll call you, a girl," instead of saying, "No, you're really a boy, you're just a feminine boy." I mean, are we
What's
not
a feminine boy?
a boy who doesn't have as much testosterone in his body, or
They don't even, their testosterone is not even working at that point in their lives.
Okay,
I
but
mean,
they
not
have-
really. I mean,
but they have the male parts.
yes, they do. But what you're saying is you're going to say to a little boy, and we're talking 3-year-olds at this
Yes.
point, you're going to tell him, no, you can't be a little girl. You have to be a boy.
Yeah,
That's what you're going to say to them,
Yeah.
to him. And then
because it's the truth.
it is the truth as you see it.
But he has the male parts.
He has the male parts. But what I'm saying is that I'm not saying a lot of time, there are times when that's not the case. Why is this the subject of today?
Because, like I said, I don't get to sit down with somebody from the other side. Okay.
Okay.
And
And I'm just asking
Oh,
why that would be the subject today.
a safe space.
Okay.
I want you to feel safe.
Okay.
I feel safe. I'm fine. You know.
And I'm good with it too. But I'm just saying that
I mean, we talked about it in
There
our
are-
podcast Monday.
there are people that know from when they are very young that they're.
But
in
how do
the
they
wrong.
know?
They know it in there. They know that's not where I should have been.
Well, when I was 10 years old, which is a little older than what we're talking about, I didn't know that I loved women. You know, that I was very attracted to women. That didn't come until later in life. So how do these younger kids know something that they don't know nothing about?
Well, I'm not talking about sexual attraction. That has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the way he feels about things. It's different.
I mean,
than sex-
sometimes...
I don't think that it has to do with sexual attraction at all. It just has to do with how a child feel. I mean, I don't know. It's not me.
Yeah, but
I'm not the one.
what is more important, the truth or their feelings? I mean,
The truth is not The truth is the truth for that child. It's not the truth for what we think is the truth. And that's where you and I, or if that is your stance, then that's where you and I will differ.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
my contention is this: God creates everything. I mean, that man doesn't make, but God has created. God creates life.
Yes.
He doesn't create sin. Man creates sin.
Yes.
And so anything that God has created is good. Now, there may be, like we talk about, biological
Differences.
Screw ups.
Yeah.
And those happen. I mean, that's why we have spina bifida. That's why we have all kinds of things that we have, birth defects, and
agree.
I have one. I mean, those things happen. But that wasn't sin. That's just part of it. But
so is it true? Is it the truth that we're sitting here talking right now?
yeah,
Okay. So what about when we have a difference of truth? Like, how do we determine what is true then? Because if you say it's your truth that oven is 475 degrees, but I go in there and the oven isn't on.
yeah.
Well, what is actually the truth?
Well, it would have to be we go in there and we see what the oven says.
So if
we go in there together and it says it's not on, then it's not on. I mean, that would be my. But that's not what we're talking about here.
But I'm making okay. What I'm saying is, if a doctor goes into a patient's room,
Mm-hmm.
and this little girl, let's say it's a little boy,
Mm-hmm.
says, "I'm a little girl," and the doctor looks, and he has the male parts. Should the doctor just tell him, okay, you're a little girl, or should he tell him the truth? Because we can look and see that you have boy parts. I mean,
and so it would be, from my point of view, it would be, then you look further.
And we could do that. I mean, but like you said, insurance already doesn't want to pay for it. Is insurance going to want to pay for blood work and blood tests?
Insurance be damned.
I mean,
and that's how I feel about it, because
okay, but where did this little kid get the idea that he was a girl? Just because he's seen some girls playing on the playground?
No, it's not just because he saw something. It's because of
I mean, I just want to understand,
That's what I'm trying to say, is that it's not because he just saw something. Or we could take a girl and go the other way with it, that it be a little girl. And she, she just didn't want to play with her girlfriends. She didn't want to play with the little girl. She just wasn't interested in that. Didn't care anything about it. She wants to go over here and be with the guys, the little boys.
Yeah.
And do what they do. Has nothing to do with not liking the little girls. She'll even play with them.
So can we agree?
That's not where she wants to be. She wants to be with the boys. She thinks she's a boy.
Yeah.
Okay. In her head. She thinks that's where I belong, is over there. I don't belong over here.
But as a human, don't you belong anywhere you are? You should feel comfortable. You should be you anywhere you are,
but
no matter where you are.
You can't say to somebody else, you should.
You should what?
Anything. You shouldn't, and I just did it too, just then.
Yeah.
A child should not be told, you shouldn't feel this way
No,
You
I
shouldn't
agree.
feel that way. We do it to them every damn day.
But, okay, when I was
And
in school, okay, and I'm sure it's still the same today, fads, trends, the new sneakers, everybody has to have them because the other person is doing it. Okay, so when we see one person doing it, and then that kid sees that person doing it, and they see all the other people doing it, wouldn't it be more likely that that kid would say the same thing to try to fit in with that group?
No. No, because they're ostracized, number one. There is such I can't even say the word. People
You're-
are ostracized for being transgender or gay or
Or
whatever. Still. Still. And especially in a state like Oklahoma.
But the thing is, okay, I live way out in the mountains.
I know you
way
do.
out in
Right.
the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And there is, for instance, last week, about 7 days ago, I stopped at the gas station. And I seen him around town. Long hair, real slender, real skinny hips. And when you see a woman usually has wider hips, for childbearing.
Yeah.
Okay, this dude's got real skinny hips. He's real slender himself. Real, just skin and bones,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, long hair. And I talked to him, come on the podcast, whatever, sit down and talk to us. And when I look at this guy, okay, he's got long hair, real, bony and kind of feminine looking. But just facial hair all over his face. I can clearly tell he's a man. But he says he's a transgender woman. Okay, so if I can clearly look at you and tell that you're a man, how can he convince me to call him a woman? I guess is my question.
Well, he thinks he's a woman. He says he's a woman. He believes that he's a woman. He hasn't gone, or possibly he has not undergone a complete physical transformation.
Okay.
And
If he had undergone all the way to the end, wherever you can go with this,
right, then
can he have a child?
No,
Can he bear children?
no, I wouldn't think, because he would not.
Have the parts that it requires?
No, he would not have. No,
Okay, so
So you
he,
can't.
no matter what, he's still a man, even if
No,
he.
that's not true. There are women all over the place that don't have all of the parts to have children.
Yeah, but they did originally before they were removed.
Maybe they did, and maybe they didn't.
But when they were born,
Maybe not.
they had woman parts.
Not all of them, not necessarily. See, that's the thing about it. You don't
Yeah.
know that as well as I don't know that.
But wouldn't doctors observe?
They look at what is there on the outside. They have no idea what's on the inside of that child.
Yeah, but you're not going to get a man with ovaries.
You might.
I guess it could happen.
It could happen. It might.
But when we do an autopsy, wouldn't that be discovered eventually?
It would,
be?
but that's way too late. That's way too late.
Well, what I'm saying is, would we not have already seen the signs? Would we have not already come across that? A lot of people die in the U.S. every day, and autopsies are done every day.
Yeah, but
Out of all them people, all these years, would we not have come across it by now?
well, it depends on whether an autopsy was done or not. Autopsies aren't done on everybody. They're only done in certain circumstances. So, that's, you can't hold that as that's not a valid argument.
If a kid believes he's black, but he is Asian, do we tell him, okay, yeah, you're black?
You can.
But what is that going to do
Well,
to his mind?
Well, I guess my point is this. We really don't have the right to assign those characteristics to people. We don't. Just like we don't, when they talk about birth certificates, now they talk about the gender that is assigned at birth. That's what they say now for birth certificates. Assigned at birth. Didn't used to be that way. You know, on my birth certificate, it just says male or female. I mean, it doesn't say male for me, it says female, but it's just checked.
Yes.
You know, but mine was from the 50s.
Yes.
You know, so that goes
So
way,
mine's the same
way
as
back,
yours.
You know, way back. It's not that way anymore.
Yeah.
It's what's assigned.
Yeah, but how do we assign it?
And that's exactly right, because all they're doing is they're looking to see, is it a penis or is it well, it's not even a vagina. They're just looking at
But
the
it's
outer,
also checked Caucasian.
and it's checked white or black or Caucasian or Asian. Or,
So I can be a black man,
Yes, you could be.
but
Yes,
I'm
you
clearly white.
Well, possibly. You know, the thing is that, and I've learned this since living here, we have people that are dark skinned and they are classified as Afro-American. They're not.
No, they're just American, maybe a black American, but
They're not black. They're Indian. They can be Cherokee, they can be Chippewa. There are a lot of Indians here that are black. And you would never know that if you did not talk with them and understand who their people are.
yeah. Okay.
There are, I mean, you know, so I'm just saying, you know, there are people who you think might be Hispanic, but they're not. They're
Indian.
not they're Indian.
I've come across that for sure.
And it's
That's what I was going to
because
say.
they're from South America, and there are South American Indian tribes that look nothing like the Indian tribes from North America.
Yeah.
And then we have the people from Asia, and they don't look like what we think of as Asian people, who are Chinese and Japanese. There are indigenous people to the Asian continents.
Yeah.
Indonesian people,
Yeah.
the Malay people,
Yeah.
and those are all indigenous. You can't say they're Indians, but they are not Japanese and they're not Chinese.
Yeah. Okay, to circle back around.
I know, I kind of got off.
It's okay. It's fine. We're just talking. Okay. So, what is a woman?
Kind of like what I said in the beginning.
What? Whoever says they're a woman? But isn't that a circular definition? I mean, what is
It
a
is.
chair? Anything that says it's a chair.
Well, no, a chair can't talk, so, you know.
Yeah, true enough.
And you know what? Anymore, I mean, like yesterday, I was looking at the moon pods. Have you seen what?
No.
It's like a bean. It's like a bean bag,
Yeah.
but it's it's different than a bean bag because it's got more of a shape to it.
A shape.
And when you sit down on it, the back of it kind of comes up behind you so that it makes this part, the back of it, so that
Yes.
it supports you.
Really?
And it is a little bit bigger, than a regular beanbag.
Yeah. I never seen them.
And it's like,
I mean,
well,
yeah, it is a chair. I
And
mean,
it is a chair.
but
So anyhow,
I mean,
well then what's a man?
an adult human male. Someone who produces sperm. I mean, that's what I.
That's what
the
you
Webster's
say.
dictionary version.
Ah,
I mean,
well, I didn't have a dictionary in front of me, but
That
I
is
wouldn't have
true.
used it either. I wouldn't have used it anyway,
and the Webster's dictionary will, and this was until a couple years ago because I feel like they went woke and they changed the definition. Like, how do you change the definition of something? But
But then
Either way.
I don't like that term woke either, because that's a made up word for.
it is a made up word.
It is a made up word. I mean, woke has to do, it's a made up word.
So, okay, well, adult human female is the dictionary, and there's lots of types of women, but I mean, some of them may have the parts, the inside parts that it requires to produce ova,
Yeah.
produce an egg.
Right.
Okay, some of them might be missing that part. Some of them, are short. Some of them tall. But they have the same characteristics. They have, breasts and the downstairs parts of a woman. And someone kind of is, I mean, it's the same subject, but do you not feel like as a woman that women are being erased by men who can just say that they're a woman and just kind of take over womanhood? I mean, we have.
No, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And I don't feel threatened, if that's what you mean.
No, not threatened.
I don't feel threatened, not physically threatened, but I don't feel threatened. I don't know how to say it. I don't feel threatened by them.
You don't feel erased.
No, because the men that are attracted to transgender women, I think are not. Well, I mean, for me, it's not it's a moot point.
Do you know a
anyway.
lot of times the attraction point? A lot of times with these transgender people, there's a man who says he's a woman, and then there's a woman who says she's a man, and they don't get the surgeries, they don't do none of that, but they're still in a relationship. So is he just not the man and she's the woman? Like, why? They're still doing what it requires,
Right.
In order to have a baby,
Right.
you have to have a man and a woman.
Right.
So
It's
if we just didn't lie to them and just told them.
No, but it has to do with the mindset, and it's not all just about physical bodies. There's a whole, and that's a lot of it. I mean, and that's really more of it than anything.
Hey,
What's up?
I need a minute. Is that okay?
Sure,
2 minutes. I'll be right back.
sure.
I wonder how long the camera's been off. So we want to change the topic. I got something else we could talk about that is
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
school shootings. I know it's a rough topic, but I want to hear a solution that you have. You come up.
Well, my solution is the one that nobody wants, that, you know, Republicans are just not gonna have anything to do with, and that's, you know, and so,
Say it.
well, they need to ban assault rifles, and that's it. And
Okay.
don't even get me started.
What is an assault rifle? If we're gonna ban it,
Well,
we have to be able to
no,
put it in
no,
writing.
No, well, what I'm talking about then are the AR-15s, the ones that can do multiple rounds,
I need my phone. Go ahead.
multiple rounds with the, I don't know how you say all of that, because I don't know
That's fine.
how you do it, but it's like those AR-15s that people use for hunting now. And why you want to use it for hunting is, I think they say it's because you can use them to kill a deer and it's quicker. And
If anybody says that, they don't know what they're talking
well,
about.
and the thing about it is those high velocity bullets, when they hit somebody or a deer, they don't just put a bullet through it, it blows the whole body apart on the inside. You know that.
No, ma'am. I'm about to. Hold on. I got you here.
That's why those kids in Uvalde,
Oh, come on. I want a full screen view. Don't do that to me.
did you see the bodies of those kids in Uvalde?
Which one of these should we ban?
Both of them. Both of them. They've got those cartridge things, and they can just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yep, it's in both of them. Both of them.
Okay, what about the Second Amendment? Our founding
I
fathers.
don't care one shit load about the, pardon me,
No.
I'm done now.
You're okay.
I'm done.
No,
I mean, this is
Don't
just,
be-
I'm just
we're
really
just having a good
awful.
conversation.
I know, but I can't do it with, and be nice about it.
I know, but
I
I'm
know
gonna-
it's not you.
I'm gonna
It
try to
is
be. I'm gonna try to. And you may not change your mind, and that's fine.
No,
but I'm
you're
gonna
not
state my
gonna change
case.
my-
Okay.
Yeah, but you're not gonna change my mind. Second Amendment had to do with nothing like what we're talking about right now. The people nowadays do not need that kind of gun. Number one, if we're gonna try to defend this country, it needs to be against the people
Okay.
that are here in this country. It's not against people outside of this country. It's all of the, what do you call, I can't even think of that, I've
I
gotten
have a
so
question.
upset now. I can't
You're-
even think
no,
of
just
it.
take a deep breath, it's fine.
the,
Just take a deep breath, it's just Tanner.
I know,
Yeah.
but I get so, it's me. I've gotten really upset.
I know it's a touchy subject, and I know.
No, but it's all of the,
But we have to talk about it in order to
No.
come up with real solutions, I feel like.
it's all of the people that have got tanks sitting in their backyards and undercover and
I have a question.
what?
Can you tell me what the Second Amendment says?
I can't quote it verbatim by any means, and I'm sure that you probably can.
I'm going to. Okay, this is
Because they don't have to pay the bill.
congress.gov.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Shall not be infringed.
Okay.
Shall not.
Not be infringed. Okay. So it has nothing to do with what kind of guns then?
Nope. But it says to keep the security of a free state. So if the government has these guns and the government like many other
I
dictatorships.
got it, I get you. If they have them, then we need to have them too.
I'm
And
not
I
saying we should have nukes.
No, I'm not saying that either, but I'm saying that what you're saying is that if the United States troops had these guns, then the,
Other countries' militaries have these guns. Our military has these guns. Our military has tanks. I mean, you can own a tank. You can own a cannon.
I know you can.
You know, and a lot of people say, which you did not say, and I was waiting for it, muskets. Okay, a lot of people say, well, that was for back in the day when they only had muskets. But that was top of the line technology
Yes.
back then. So,
Yes.
you know, why should we not be able to have top of the line technology because it's not just against the government, but for everyday citizens to be able to protect and preserve their right to life.
Right, I understand what you're saying, and I get what you're saying.
So I
But
have a
at the
question.
same time-
Actually, I have a solution that
Okay,
maybe you'll like.
yeah.
Okay.
Give it to me.
So let's just say all these chairs in here are filled, okay? And the people out sitting out of the room out there, they're the cops, okay? And they got their guns. Now, everybody in here, this is a gun-free zone, no guns, okay? Now, somebody who wants to do harm comes in here and starts shooting. Well, we have to wait for them people outside to get in here, right? To stop the carnage, okay? So, but now, another scenario, everybody in here everyone is carrying a gun. Somebody comes through that door to start shooting. Yeah, they might shoot one or two people, but everybody in here has a gun, and we don't have to wait for the cops. We can take him out, him or her, whoever, we can take them out right away and stop it right away. And then when the cops show up, then, you know, they can take over from there. But I am a firm believer in I am my own first responder.
Yeah,
The cops are who shows up after.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So if we started banning guns, I mean, where do we stop? Those two guns I showed you, which you said ban them both, but most people say the black one, ban it, but the other one's okay. What's funny? They're the same exact gun. They shoot the same ammo.
Yeah.
The bullets, and I don't know how much you know about guns, maybe not a lot.
I don't know a lot about guns, but I do know,
Did
I
you
saw
know,
photographs.
did you know an AR-15, the bullet, the actual lead that comes out of the barrel is the size of a .22 bullet?
I have seen what it did to some of those children.
And wouldn't you been
No,
more happy if there was a teacher there that had a gun and had stopped it sooner?
the teachers were trying to protect the children.
And if they had a gun, they could have stopped it sooner and protected a lot more children.
I don't know.
But there was
I
a
don't know.
higher chance that it would have been
I
stopped
don't know.
sooner.
I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that.
Okay, did you
I'm not
know?
gonna go there with
Did you know
because-
a very, very, very high number? I'm not gonna say it's 100% because I don't know the number for sure, but I can guarantee you if you researched it, it would be over 75% of mass shootings happen in gun-free zones.
I don't know that.
I've
either.
heard that.
Okay, now, we just had another shooting. I know you brought up Uvalde, which is,
Oh, I know, but I mean, there's probably been 3 shootings this week or the
Okay.
last week and a half.
in Nashville.
Mhm.
Okay, did you know that the school that the shooter actually went to was not the first target? It was the second target. The first target had armed guards, and so the shooter decided, hey, I'm not going here because they'll shoot me. So she went over here instead.
I didn't know that. I knew that she was going to the Covenant school because that's where she had gone to school.
She had gone to school there before,
Yeah.
but in her manifesto,
Mhm.
she had written that she had tried out another target, but that was a hard target, so
Yeah.
she went and found a softer target. I mean, can we not agree that that is at least some kind of evidence that it
Yeah.
could be
Yeah.
possibly fixed
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
way?
I understand.
I mean, I
that.
think if
And they are saying now that they're gonna put, some schools are saying that they're gonna have armed guards.
good,
I do not believe that teachers should be armed, because that means that there are gonna be guns in the classrooms.
how often do banks get robbed?
I don't know about that.
Okay, but
But
what I'm saying is,
is that teachers having guns in the classroom, that's a no-no. I do not believe that that is a good idea.
okay, so we don't arm the teachers. Let's
That's
say
what-
we hire ex-military
Right,
armed
right.
guards
I mean,
to stand out front.
that's good. I just don't think a teacher
So,
needs to be protecting her children. She doesn't need to be standing there with a gun at the door, because that's
but
not
that's
what
the best form of protection.
Hey, but who's
It's a
saying-
great equalizer.
Hey, and I'm just saying this though, if she's teaching her kids and she's standing there teaching her kids and a gunman walks through the door,
Wouldn't it be nice if she could just pull a gun and shoot him before he got any shots off and didn't kill any kids?
hey, do you think that that's gonna be the scenario? That she's gonna be able to pull her gun and do this when she's in the middle of writing something on a blackboard, or she's down here helping a child do this?
You know what's crazy?
That's what I'm saying.
In
though,
Nashville?
Tanner.
The teacher got shot and she still helped get the children that were in that
I
classroom
understand that.
out. So she had the time to help get the children out. Would she not have had the time to pull her gun and shoot?
I don't know. I'm just saying that that is not a good idea.
Can we agree that?
I can agree with you to have armed guards.
Oh yeah, that's good, yeah.
You know, but I'm not.
But can we agree a gun is a great equalizer? It makes
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
equal to me.
No,
I'm
it
a
does
big
not.
man.
No, it does not, because I don't know how to shoot a gun.
Well, I'm saying if you were trained, and I as a big man, and you as a frail,
I'm not frail, but yeah.
well, I'm just saying not you, I'm just saying in a scenario,
Yeah,
a frail older lady,
yeah.
okay, and me being a big strong male, if I
Right.
came to attack you, you could actually come out in that fight and win that fight if you had a gun with you.
Possibly.
Is that not worth trying?
Yeah, but we had, 300 cops down there in Uvalde, and they didn't do a damn thing.
Let's don't depend on the cops. Let's depend on ourselves. I am my own first responder.
Well, I understand
I
that.
protect my own
I
life. No one is
understand that,
responsible for my life. I am.
yes.
Okay, now
That won't ever happen again.
what won't?
What happened in Uvalde?
No, it'll never happen again because our police have seen.
What
hey,
happened?
and you notice in Nashville,
Yeah,
and they released that body cam footage. They did not blink an eye. They went straight in.
Yeah,
Right.
they showed
did.
that footage several times where they
Yeah.
went
Good.
right in and
right.
took care of
I
business.
mean,
And
yeah,
we overuse the word hero nowadays, but those men are heroes.
you know, that,
I mean, but look at those other cops, like you said. I mean, it took them 70-something minutes to get in there.
That was cowardice at,
Very cowardice. So, would you depend on the police to come and save you? I
mean,
don't.
there were fathers out
I know
there.
it.
With their own guns trying to go
get
in.
Yeah, there were.
And they wouldn't let them.
Yeah, that was really sad. But anyway, I'm just not for teachers having guns. in the
And
school.
I'm honestly, I'm okay with not being the teachers. But if that is the case, then we also have to figure out where in the budget we come up with all this money to hire all these guards. I mean, how many schools does Stillwater have?
Quite a
5?
few.
At least
Yeah.
3 for sure.
No, they do.
They've got
And they're
several.
big schools,
Yeah.
so you're gonna need at least 2 guards per school minimum.
Yeah, well, schools in Oklahoma, most schools don't have enough funding. But that means that people are gonna have to cough up the money. That means more taxes. Hey, and that just means people are gonna have to bite the bullet if they wanna protect their kids. People don't wanna do that. They don't.
No, they don't.
They don't. And I'll tell you, look at.
I would say
look-
they wanna
hey,
protect their kids.
No.
But
Look
they
at
don't
this.
want to.
Look at this. Look at the turnout for the voting last night. Look at that. That was pathetic. In one town, 27 people voted. 27 people.
That's not good. That's why we need to.
That's not very many.
No, that's not.
And so when people will not go to the polls and vote, then the money is not there.
I mean, yeah. But what would you? Okay, you say raise taxes. And
Well, I mean, that's what you have to do
Yes,
the
I
bonds,
understand.
you know, and
I already
all of
know,
that,
yeah.
and get that money in.
And before I forget, let me go just back just a little
Okay,
bit.
okay.
Okay, with the bank. Okay.
Oh, okay, you talked something
We
about that.
we protect our banks with armed guards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
And they're
are
not-
children not as valuable as
Yeah,
money?
and that money that's at the bank, it's in a vault.
Yeah. It's locked up behind,
Except what's in the tiller, in the
Yeah.
in the tellers.
but we still put an armed guard out there, which we already
Right,
agreed,
right.
armed guards all the way.
right.
And you know, actually, maybe I will tag Kevin Stitt in this, and maybe he can try to figure something out. I mean,
Don't put me on camera with him. Do
Oh,
not,
please.
do not. I am one of
Okay.
his worst enemies.
Please don't.
but okay, so
Kevin Stitt and the superintendent of schools, I would,
Ryan Walters.
I never heard of Ryan Walters.
Well, he's a young punk is what he is.
he is, he wants to ban, all he wants to do is stop pornography in the schools. There is no pornography in the schools. Hey, don't even go there. Don't even go there.
Did you know I found a book in 3 different libraries? It's called Genderqueer, and it's for 1st and 2nd graders.
First and second
And
grade.
and it portrays someone performing acts on now it is drawn out cartoon whatever, but what I'm saying is
It's a drawn out cartoon.
yes,
Okay, well, let's just look it up.
Genderqueer, look it up.
Well, I heard that was on one of the book lists.
Yep, Genderqueer. That's
That
because
Ryan
it's
Walters. I
most
didn't know they had
definitely.
any kind of books like that.
Oh yeah,
But it was on TV the other night.
it's a lot more than that one.
Well, yeah, they had a list, but I remember that one because I thought, Genderqueer, what is this?
Yes.
I mean, I ain't never heard of it.
No kidding.
I mean, good grief.
What school was it?
You know.
Genderqueer.
Don't give me a line. Here's the thing.
It's on Amazon. Amazon has the book. It's reading age is 18 years and up.
Oh, well, why would they have it in school library?
Well, why in the school library, first grade is what you
Yeah.
just
No,
said.
I did say for 1st grade, but the writing is, I mean, a 1st grader could read it.
It's for 18 years
I'm-
and up. It's a memoir by somebody,
Yeah.
Karabi.
It's a memoir of her life and how she.
It's a personal story.
Well, that show that Dr. Phil had about transgenders was very interesting.
Matt Walsh was on there.
Huh?
Matt Walsh was on there.
Oh,
He was
you
the
were
one
talking-
asking, what is a woman?
I don't know who Matt Walsh is.
I mean, he's really, honestly, I just know because I listen to his news segments every day. But the thing is, I listen.
Is he a gay guy or
Mm,
transgender or
well,
what?
he's married and got 6 kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And so he's what? Is he rabid about something or?
No, he just tells the truth.
Oh, okay. I
He
didn't
just
know.
tells the truth.
I mean, they did a documentary, What is a Woman? He went far and wide.
Oh, but I wouldn't agree with him then. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that. I think,
Okay.
honestly, okay, he went to like some actual like college professors
Mhm.
and stuff like that at like Yale and like different places,
Mhm.
and like sat down and talked to them, and and just asked them and let them speak for themselves, and let the viewers decide. And I think he did an amazing job on it. And I mean, it's really a good movie. If I had internet,
It's a movie.
it's a documentary.
It's a documentary.
It's a documentary.
Matt
Walsh.
Walsh.
What is a
Okay.
woman?
Okay. Well, I'll see if I can't find
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
I mean, it really is. It's good. And I'm not saying that he's perfect, and they cut stuff out of his shows, his daily show, the news, like CNN or anybody else. And they cut stuff out of context because he does say, like, okay, one time specifically, and they asked him about it in a Congress hearing in
Mhm.
Tennessee. On one of his shows, he had said, Singapore has nice things. He said, we can't have nice things. Singapore has nice things because they do what it takes to combat crime.
Combat crime.
Setting an example out of people.
Mhm.
They beat them with bamboo sticks and whatever else. And yes, I mean, it is.
Well, there's several people here that need that done.
It is. I mean, he was being kind of facetious, but at the same time, it is true. I mean, America does not do what it takes to have nice things. I mean, when people do something wrong, say a rapist, okay, we sentence him to jail, and then we put him in jail until everybody's about forgot about him, and then we take him back here in this back room, and we euthanize him. Okay, well, how about we make an example out of him, and we build a gallows, and we put him out there in the town center, and we hang him for everyone to see. And then the next person that thinks, hey, let me go rape this person, they're going to think, oh, well, if I do, I'll be the next one hanging.
Yeah.
Well, in Singapore, they do not have public hangings.
No, they just beat you and torture
They
you and
don't
stuff.
have public lashings either.
But everybody knows what happens if you do stuff wrong.
Well, they do. I lived in Singapore, so.
But everybody knows if you do something you ain't supposed to,
Well,
You're
they
gonna
do
pay.
know, they do know about it because it's publicized, but, I mean, they have a docket and they list all of that, but there's not photographs or anything like that, but yes.
but everybody knows what
And
happens.
anybody who is convicted of drug trafficking is executed, period.
So do you think if we did that in America, maybe we'd have a lot less drugs on our streets?
Probably,
Mhm.
probably, because if you traffic more than a gram of anything in Singapore, you're executed. And, I mean, they used to tell, I mean, when we lived there anyway, they warned any American coming over there with children to live, do not let your children use drugs over here. Do not let your children come over here with marijuana in their luggage,
Mhm.
with anything in their luggage. If they're caught, we can't help you.
So do you think it'd be the same
And,
for
you know,
rapists?
I mean, it was crazy, and because British people, American people, it does not matter. Your passport gives you no protection when it comes to drugs.
So do you think it would be the same for rapists or school shooters? If we took took the school shooter out into the town where they did this shooting and took them to the public center and we hung them in the public center, you think it would cut down the mass
You wouldn't even
shootings?
have to do that if it were a mandatory execution and it was swift. I don't think that if we're gonna do executions in the United States, then they don't need to
Make it public.
well, they don't need to be prolonged, I mean, the
Yeah,
sentence.
you don't need to put them in there for 30 years and then kill them.
Right, and.
Give them a week.
No, well, I mean, you need to be sure that they have time to do their appeals and all of that. And you've got to be sure that you've got the right person.
Well, like the
Because-
shooter, we know for a fact it was them because we came in and we seen them.
Right.
So if a cop
Right.
comes in and he sees you there,
That's what I'm saying, but with these school shootings where a lot of times the
Yeah.
person gets killed in the,
yeah,
But-
yeah. If they don't surrender, yeah, they're dead.
but the ones that do survive it, they need to be executed.
Okay,
I mean, that's my feeling on it.
now take, for instance, somebody's raped, okay? There's DNA, you can match the DNA.
I don't believe in executions for rapists right out of the box, you know? I don't know that I believe in that.
But that's doing harm to someone else.
I know it is, but I think that would probably be up to the family.
And honestly, we can do that and put it up to the family because I don't see a family being like, oh, my daughter was raped, and then the family being like, well, it's fine, just let him sit in jail until he dies.
No, but there are families that don't believe in the death penalty.
There's a lot of them.
There are a lot of them that do not believe in it, and,
I mean,
I think if
so-
I
they
would
rape
say,
somebody, they ought to cut their damn dick off.
and
And if they
I'm good
murder
with that too.
somebody, then they ought to
An eye
just stay
for
on
an
and
eye.
murder them. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, that's.
Now, these grown men,
Oh, this is my doctor.
Okay, yeah.
okay,
Okay, now don't quote me on, I don't remember what country it is. And it is a smaller country, granted. But in this country, as a child, you, in school, public school,
Mhm.
their kind of public school, part of the course is gun safety and training. As a child,
Yeah,
okay, and then when they turn 18, the government issues them a pistol and a rifle. These are
Really?
yours, and you are to keep so much ammo on hand to train. And their crime statistics are basically none.
I wonder where that is.
I'll look it up for you. I mean, I just didn't want to say a certain one and be wrong. Oh. Let's see.
That'd never work in the United States.
We are a
Too big.
lot bigger country.
I
This
mean,
is a
This is huge.
itty bitty country.
This is a huge country and it's.
But if we taught people that guns are dangerous and you are responsible, if you have a gun, you are responsible for every bullet that leaves that gun. And we taught them from a young age and just how dangerous they are, I feel like we'd have a lot less gun crime. Like, make them actually see the results. Okay, what country?
I understand where you're coming from, Tanner, but there are so many people in this country that,
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
And their crime statistics are
Well, and they're,
Zilch.
you know, they're a country that is completely neutral, you know.
that is true. That is true. I mean,
You know, they're neutral. They don't,
everybody has a stance on something. They may not voice it.
well, I'm just saying that, you know.
They just
they
stay
are-
neutral. They don't
are-
take anybody's side.
they-
Look,
yeah.
we're not on nobody's side. Leave us alone. Leave us out of it. I feel like if Americans were a lot more like that, we'd have a lot less of our own soldiers dying in overseas wars that we don't even know what we're fighting for. Like, what is the end goal? And they can't tell you. So, maybe keep our nose here in America and worry about American problems like school shootings, like, whatever else the case may be.
A lot of times I think that the United States, though, is because they're that goes back, decades and all, but it has to do with world peace.
And we are a world super leader for now, or a superpower for now. It's coming to an end.
We would hope that we would be able to keep that. If it,
We're not going to.
well.
I hope we do, and
If we don't, then,
China will be the next world superpower.
well, and if that's the case, then we can kiss our butts goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be done.
Do you know who owns all our debt in the U.S.?
Well, it's not China. No, it is not China. We'll go ahead and look.
I don't know it for a fact. I think that, but I could be wrong.
Well, I had a thing come across my phone the other night about, do you think the U.S. ought to sell land to China?
Yeah,
I
Well-
said, hell no.
yeah, no.
There's
they
already
have
too
been-
much
They
of it.
have, yeah, they have been, yeah.
There's a lot of foreigners buying up these motels
Yeah.
and shitting
You know,
goods.
come on in here.
Okay,
Come
I
on.
think that
it's about, it says 32.5% are U.S. investors, 11.2 Federal Reserve, 27 the U.S. government, and 29 foreign investors. So, I was wrong. But where do we
She's talking to somebody.
Oh, okay.
Where do we get everything you buy nowadays? What's the tag on it? It says made in China.
It says made in China, but that's also changing.
Yes,
Because we're trying to
because
move
I've seen a
everything
lot
back.
of different, not just China or Taiwan,
Mhm.
but there's been other countries too.
Yeah. Well,
And we're trying to get it, when you see that it's made with, when it says fair trade,
yeah.
those are not Chinese based or
Yeah.
that kind of Asia based. Those are more the African based or South American based. Those are those countries, and we're, trying to get their trade started as well.
Yeah.
Those countries are really poor, and we're just in here talking.
Oh, I didn't know y'all had the door closed, so,
Oh yeah. I closed it. I didn't want to disturb anybody.
oh.
Come on.
You can come sit down and talk if you want.
Oh, no, I don't want to talk.
Oh, okay. Okay. Uh,
I don't want to give the impression that we're on the way down and we're not gonna recover. The only thing that I worry about exit for the world is climate.
Okay.
And especially in the states that are, where the state economy is based on oil and gas, they're not giving it up. And it's because of these states that won't give it up, and they're,
So if we quit producing oil and gas,
I'm not saying that we need to quit producing it. We need to be shifting away from it. That's not the same thing as stopping producing it.
okay,
And
if the
the thing-
technology was there, don't you think, I mean, America is always changing and evolving. If the technology was there, don't you think that we would be there?
Beware.
Like, if we could produce all of our power, or let's just say 50% of our power and energy consumption, if we could produce it by solar or wind power,
Mhm.
okay, don't you think we would be doing it?
Well, we would be doing it if the oil and gas industry had not sabotaged it. Because they own the rights to a lot of that themselves. I mean,
Well-
you can even see their advertising, or not advertising, it's promises and all of that, you know. We're the ones that are making it better for the world, because we're doing all of this stuff for clean air and clean water and yada, 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 yada.
So how
We're
about
the
electric
ones-
vehicles? You think electric vehicles are a good idea?
I don't know if they are or not right now, because they don't have, the battery situation is a
Problem, it's a
is
big problem.
Yeah, it's a problem, and so I don't know.
Okay, to produce these batteries, do you know any of the stuff that it takes?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, I do.
cobalt
Yes,
and lithium.
yes,
Okay, do you know where cobalt and lithium mines are?
yes.
China.
No.
They're
not-
owned by China.
No, that's not true. Some of them are, but some of them are not. Some of them are right next door to us in Arkansas.
But they own a very big proportion of it.
Well,
More than we, more than
A
what
lot
we
of-
need.
well,
They own more than what we even need.
Well, but the thing about it is that the world will need it, not just us.
Yeah.
And because this is a global problem, this is not just the United States.
So what problems do you see from climate change? Like, what do you see in your everyday life?
Well, it isn't just my everyday life, it's what's, I mean, the ice caps are melting. And because the ice caps are melting, the underwater circulation of the oceans is changing. And because of that, we don't have the kinds of fish and stuff moving around in the waters now.
Would we agree that the world's climate has always been changing since the day that it came into existence? Would we agree that it's always changed? I mean, we look back, we have had the ice
Well,
age.
yes, we've always had that, but we didn't have man involved in that until the last however long, couple of 100 years.
But, okay,
So-
they keep moving the goalposts back. We're all gonna die in 12 years.
It's not 12 years. It's not 12 years.
That's what some people say.
Well, that's not it. I mean, it's not 12 years. It's just that the earth is going to, our water is going to take over the land masses eventually. So our population is going to have to move closer together, because we're not going to have as much land mass.
Okay,
And so.
in that,
and the world's population is more than the amount of land we have.
So these
So-
people that say that, okay,
It's not that there's people that say that, that is fact. That is fact. I mean, you can buy
would you
the
buy
fact.
oceanfront property right now?
No,
Why are all these really rich people that say the world, that the ice caps are melting and the water's gonna come up on us, why are they buying oceanfront property? Millions and millions and millions of
where
dollars.
do you see that?
Obama, like 8 or 9 years ago, bought a
That's fine,
5.8 million.
Right, 8 or 9 years ago. What's he doing today?
He still owns the property.
Well, and that may be true, but
Martha's Vineyard. I mean, it's still rich people go and buy, but then they turn around and say,
Martha's Vineyard is up toward the 45th parallel too, because that's where people need to be moving, because the United States between, well, below the 45th parallel, it will be on fire probably by the end of the century. It will be too hot to grow anything.
so
And so people, and that's what I was trying to tell you was the land masses are gonna be shrinking. And we've got all of these people all over the world, not just here, but all over the world that are gonna have to be moving into these shrinking land masses. And on top of that, because of the climate change and where the sun is and where we don't have land anymore and that sort of thing, and no place to grow crops anymore because of the heat,
yeah.
there's just gonna be a lot of stuff going on.
But this is just what could happen.
Well, it's the projections, and if, I mean, there are sites, probably sites that maybe you should look at, websites that you should look at.
I mean, I look at both sides, and that's why
That's
I'm so
why I'm saying
versatile. It's like,
maybe you should look at those websites, the ones that I look at, and the ones that I study.
okay,
And they're not Obama or anybody like, they're scientific sites.
yeah,
They're not sites that are
but
party related.
true
They-
or false, we've had, let's just stick to the last 100 years, we've had multiple goalposts. Oh, at this point, life will be over. Well, at this point,
well,
in
things changes.
2000, when the Mayan calendars ended, we was all supposed to just into dust or whatever
That
it
was
was.
a Mayan calendar.
But what I'm saying
And
is,
Mayan
it's always
calendars-
climate change.
Well, but
Like-
Mayan calendars were based on superstition as well.
Yeah.
They weren't based on science.
Yeah, but you have a scientist that makes a lot of predictions, and he's been wrong about every single one.
Well, he's one scientist. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we're just talking about two different things.
Well, I mean, the thing is,
But that's okay. I mean, we can talk about two different things, but,
You guys
You know.
got me confused.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that the world's climate is not changing, but it's always been changing.
it has been.
We as
Yes.
humans, we build and we adapt. I mean, the air conditioner wasn't invented until, in the 1900s or whatever, whenever
Right.
it was.
Right,
Okay, before that, people just sweated their off all day,
right, they did.
Okay, but we've built and we've adapted, and now, look, we're sitting in this big old room, and
Right,
honestly, I'm burning up,
I'm
but,
freezing to death.
and I'm okay
At
because
least
I've got on
she
3
was,
layers.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
But at the same time, the ozone that we used for that, or it's not ozone now, it's a different thing, but the ozone that we use to make those air conditioners run is now burning up our atmosphere. And has been for however many years we've been using air conditioners.
So what is the solution?
That's what I'm saying. Well, the solutions are,
Quit having air conditioner.
we gotta find something different.
Have water coolers.
I don't know. I mean, there are solutions out there and I don't know what they are, you know.
I mean, I don't worry about it in my day-to-day life. I mean, there's nothing I'm gonna do.
And that's kind of where I am at my age.
Yeah.
There's not a lot, I mean, I still recycle what I use.
Yeah.
And I pick up Lily's poop and don't leave it everywhere.
Yeah.
And I, you know, try to conserve the amount of water I use, even though I don't pay for it here. You know, I still try not to use any more than I should, and I turn out all my lights. I don't turn on every light in my apartment and that kind. I do what I can do.
Yeah.
But in the end, I'm not going to live very much longer. But I do worry about my grandkids because they will still be alive when all of this is going to hell.
Yeah.
And they will be grown and they may have children. I hope to God they don't. I hope to God neither one of my grandsons marries or any of that and has children.
Yeah, but then at the end of that, that is the end of your bloodline.
I don't care.
Some scientists seem to think that we need more people in order to fix problems.
Well, there are more people on this earth now than can be. There are more people than need to be. There's more people on the earth than this earth can take care of. And so that will right itself.
And
You
I'm
know,
a little more.
famine and war and
I'm a little more on your side of this one. I do think that there's too many people.
there are way too many.
I think there's too many people that are not conscious, and that might not be the right word, of what they do. You know, somebody who just drives around all the time, just lollygagging, they ain't got nothing else to do, just burning gas. Okay, that's fine. If you got the money, you can do that. It's a free country. But at the same time, like, they're the ones, let's just say, per se, they're the one that is worried about climate change. But they're not doing anything to help. I mean, I
Well,
think
there's a lot of people that do that.
I
that
think-
don't know about climate change too.
I think that
Or
we could
care less.
handle,
Yes.
Could
I
care
think we could
less.
handle more people if we took better care of the planet as far as planting trees. You know, this concrete jungle here,
It needs to all be plowed up.
and that's another thing. You just keep covering it with concrete, keep covering it with
Exactly.
concrete.
Yep.
We
We
need
need
the
to-
dirt.
Yeah, and that's,
And we
to
keep-
me, we need to go back to, the thing about it is, the dirt holds all of the carbon underneath it, and it needs to stay that way. We don't need to dig up the dirt. We need to keep the dirt where it is.
So no more cobalt mines.
Well, I'm talking about just where your dirt is, the dirt on your farm.
Yeah,
It needs to stay there. We
Yeah.
don't need to dig that dirt up.
yeah.
And we
But
don't need to drill any more oil. We need to, I mean, I'm talking, the mines, everything like that. We need to keep everything
where these mines
it
used to
is.
be,
Yes.
guess what used to be there? Probably cattle.
No,
a farm.
I know, no, I'm saying that too.
Yeah.
I'm saying that too,
Yes.
but that also means that the oil drilling needs to stop. All of that kind of stuff needs to stop in order to keep the carbon where it is.
Okay.
That isn't gonna happen, and I know that. I know it's not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Well, I mean,
but
Let's just say, okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna quit drilling. But you know what happens overnight? You quit drilling,
Well, it's not gonna happen overnight.
But I'm saying if you did, if you could just quit drilling overnight, you know what would happen? Probably over half the population is gonna die.
Well, then, and there is part of your solution.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
You
I mean,
know,
honestly,
but that is, I mean, those are the solutions then. You've got people that will be dying, so part of the population problem is gone. You've got less carbon being pumped into the air, so, I mean, it's ways for the planet to survive. But that means, but that is,
okay, so in my
those
day-to-day
are the
life,
solutions. You and I know this. We've talked about,
In-
not in those terms, but we've talked about what happens.
in my day-to-day life, here's what I see. Okay, I'll stay on the farm all day, every day. This year we lost 2 more places. Okay, we lease, we don't own. You don't make enough money to own. I mean, people don't understand where their food comes from. Okay, now we lost these places. Guess what we lost them to? Developers. These developers come in and they build houses.
on them.
And then where do the cows go? They go to the slaughter and you know, the cycle of life. But then the problem is you keep doing that and you keep doing that, and eventually you're going to have nowhere to put cows. You're going to have nowhere to plant a crop because it's all taken up by houses. I mean,
And that's because the population is growing over there? Is that what it is? And this is,
I think
where is
yes.
that?
Or
In Fort Smith?
no, this is anywhere. Yeah, well, yeah. Where Muldrow. Yes.
Muldrow, okay.
Yes. And those are only 2 places. You know, America's big. But I see that in my day-to-day life, and it affects my day-to-day life. And not only that, but then you got these people, they build 5-bedroom houses, and an older couple moves in there by themselves. And this is their money, and they can do what they want. But the problem with that is, why do you need 5 bed? Why does your house have to be so big? You know, you only need so much. So how about we, instead of cutting down 20 extra trees in order to build all this extra room that them people didn't really need, how about instead of doing that, we build them a small house and, you know, maybe a little more spread out, and every person, you know, has a little bit of room for a garden and maybe a little spot for a cow or 2, you know, instead of just pour concrete across the whole thing, build houses, and, you know, people live above their means.
Yep.
I mean,
No, I get it. If,
that's how I feel about it, and that's why I say
No,
I'm
I get it. And
a little more
it
on
would-
your side of this one.
It
We
would be,
definitely don't live above our means here.
well, it would mean kind of going back to the way things used to be.
I'm all for it.
But smarter. I mean, we could be smarter at it, you know, too. But-
Yeah, and another thing is, and this is my opinion, America got lazy. I mean, how many kids my age, 30 years old, really understand where their food comes from? You know, they've lived in a big city their whole life.
They don't know. They don't, it's not that, a lot of them, it's not that they don't, that they got lazy, it's just that they don't know. They
Yeah.
grew up in the city, they had no clue.
Yeah. Well, I was
They had
watching,
no clue.
it was like a mayor or somebody really important,
Mhm.
and which has been a couple years back, but she was talking about farmers, and she literally said, well, something about do something with the farmers, and that's fine, it doesn't matter because we get our food from the grocery store.
Well, that's what they think.
Like, hold on. You think the grocery store is out in the back growing your food up for you? They're not. You know, they get it from somebody else. All the way back to a farmer. You know? And they just don't understand. And I think that is a big problem with big cities, is you don't have to understand because it's fine. You just go to the grocery store. Well, you start shutting down oil and natural gas, and guess what? Tomorrow, the grocery store ain't getting no shipment in, and everybody in that city, they're hope for the best, I guess. I mean, I feel like if people actually had to go out and do the hard work, they would understand more,
Right.
you know. That's my opinion. I don't know. What else? You tired of talking yet?